The sun begins its ancient descent beyond the western desert, painting the sky in shades of amber and gold that the people of this land have witnessed for thousands of years. Here, along the banks of the eternal Nile, time moves differently than in the world we know. It flows like the great river itself, steady, purposeful, and connected to rhythms far older than any single lifetime. In the royal palace, where stone columns rise to meet painted ceilings and corridors whisper with the footsteps of dynasties, a pharaoh stands at the threshold between day and night. The weight of the double crown has been lifted from the royal brow, placed carefully upon its stand by attending hands that move with practiced reverence. The formal audiences have concluded. The matters of state have been attended to. The petitions have been heard, the decrees have been issued, and now, as shadows lengthen across the polished floors, the transition begins. This is the sacred time between worlds, no longer fully in the realm of action and duty, not yet surrendered to the realm of dreams and restoration. It is a time that belongs to neither sun nor stars, but to the gentle preparation that honors both. The pharaoh moves slowly through the palace corridors, and we move with them, feeling the coolness of stone beneath bare feet, sensing the subtle shift in the air as the heat of day begins to release its hold. Servants move quietly in the periphery, their linen garments whispering softly as they begin their evening tasks. They light the first lamps, small flames that will guide the way through approaching darkness. They carry vessels of water drawn from the Nile, still cool from the river's depths. They arrange fresh lotus blossoms in alabaster bowls, their sweet fragrance already beginning to perfume the air. Everything happens with a sense of ritual, of actions performed not just with skill but with intention, with awareness that even the smallest gesture carries meaning when done in the proper spirit. The pharaoh approaches a broad terrace that overlooks the river, and here, for a moment, the journey pauses. Standing at the terrace's edge, the pharaoh gazes out across the living landscape of the kingdom. The Nile flows below, its waters transformed by the setting sun into a ribbon of molten gold that winds through the green ribbon of cultivation on either shore. Beyond the fields, beyond the irrigation channels, and the villages with their mud brick homes, the desert rises, that vast sea of sand that stretches to the edge of the world, now painted in shades of amber, copper, and deepening purple. This view has greeted every pharaoh who has stood in this place, and will greet those yet to come. There is comfort in this continuity, in being part of a chain that extends back to the first sunrise and forward to horizons beyond imagining. A breeze stirs, the first cool breath of evening air moving across the terrace. It carries with it the mingled sense of the day's end, the green, living smell of the river, the sweet perfume of lotus flowers from the palace gardens, the faint spice of incense drifting from a distant temple. The pharaoh breathes deeply, feeling the air fill the lungs, then release slowly, carrying with it some of the day's accumulated tension. Another breath, equally slow, equally intentional. The body begins to understand what the mind already knows, that the time for action is passing, that the time for restoration approaches. In the courtyard below, the palace fountain continues its eternal music, water falling into water with a sound that has soothed countless souls before this moment. Somewhere in the gardens, a bird calls out its evening song, pure notes that hang in the thickening air. The sounds do not disturb the growing quiet, but rather deepen it, the way a single star in the sky makes the vastness around it more profound. The pharaoh's gaze returns to the Nile, watching the way light dances on its surface, fragmented into 1,000 moving points of brilliance. The river is eternal, yet ever-changing. The same water never flows past twice, and yet the river remains, constant through all seasons, all rains, all ages. The light continues to shift and soften as the sun sinks lower, touching the edge of the desert horizon. The golden brilliance mellows to amber, to copper, to shades of rose and lavender that seem to emanate from the sky itself, rather than from any single source. This is the light that the artists try to capture on palace walls, mixing their pigments from precious minerals to preserve these fleeting moments in permanent form. But no pigment can truly hold this living beauty, this constant transformation that marks the transition from day to night. Behind the pharaoh, Within the palace, the evening preparations continue in their gentle, orderly fashion. Servants move through the private chambers, opening the tall windows to invite in the cooling air. They smooth fresh linen on the royal bed, the fabric woven so finely that it feels like water against the skin. They fill basins with clean water, adding drops of precious oils that release their fragrance slowly. They arrange the night lamps in their proper places, checking the wicks, ensuring the oil is pure and abundant. Each task is performed with care, with attention, with the understanding that creating an environment of peace requires thoughtful preparation. The pharaoh can hear these distant, gentle sounds, the soft footfalls, the quiet placement of objects, the whisper of fabric being arranged. And they are comforting sounds, the sounds of being cared for, of being part of a larger whole that functions in harmony. The day's accomplishments rise quietly in the pharaoh's mind, not with pride or anxiety, but with simple acknowledgement. Decisions were made with wisdom. Justice was dispensed with fairness. The balance of ma'at, that essential harmony of all things, was honored and maintained. There is satisfaction in this, but not the kind that energizes or excites. Rather, it is the quiet satisfaction that allows for release, for letting go, for trusting that what needed to be done has been done, and what remains will be there when morning comes again. A servant approaches with quiet steps, bearing a tray with a simple cup of cool water drawn from the palace well and flavored with a hint of lotus. The pharaoh accepts it with a small nod of acknowledgement, feeling the smooth pottery cool against the palm, then raising it to drink slowly, mindfully. The water is clean and pure, tasting faintly of earth and flowers, grounding and refreshing at once. It flows down the throat, bringing a sense of inner cleansing, of washing away not just physical thirst, but the subtle residues of the day's many interactions. The cup is returned to the tray, and the servant withdraws as silently as they came, dissolving back into the gentle rhythm of palace life. The sun now touches the horizon, balanced for a perfect moment between sky and earth, between day and night. In this suspended instant, the entire world seems to pause, to take a breath, to acknowledge the beauty of transition. The pharaoh stands very still, honoring this moment with full presence, with complete awareness. This is part of the sacred ritual of evening, not the formal rituals that will come later, but the personal ritual of witnessing, of allowing the self to align with the natural rhythms of the cosmos. As the sun slips below the horizon, the quality of light transforms once more. The direct golden rays fade, replaced by a softer, more diffuse illumination that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. The sky deepens to shades of violet and indigo, and the first stars begin to appear, faint points of eternal light in the gathering darkness. These are the same stars that guided the builders of the Great Pyramids, the same stars that will guide travelers across the desert tonight, the same stars that look down on all of creation with their ancient, steady light. The pharaoh knows their patterns, knows the stories told about them, knows how they mark the seasons and guide the flooding of the Nile. They are companions, these stars, faithful and constant, and their appearance marks the completion of the day's ending. The evening breeze strengthens slightly, now carrying more coolness as the desert begins to release the heat it has stored throughout the long day. This air moves across the terrace, gentle against the pharaoh's skin, lifting the edges of the fine linen garment, bringing with it the scent of night-blooming flowers that open only when the sun has departed. There is something almost sacred about this breeze, this breath of the world between day and night, and the pharaoh allows it to wash over everything, over skin, over spirit, over the thoughts that have filled the daylight hours. With one final long look across the darkening landscape, the pharaoh turns from the terrace, leaving the view of the Nile and the rising stars, moving back into the interior of the palace, where warm lamplight now glows in welcome. The stone floor, which held the day's heat, is now pleasantly warm beneath bare feet. The corridors that seemed so busy with purpose during the daylight hours have grown quieter, more intimate, the shadows deeper and more comforting. The palace has transformed, becoming not a center of power and governance, but a sanctuary, a place of rest and restoration. This is its other face, equally important, equally necessary. A ruler must govern, yes, but a ruler must also rest, must restore, must return to the source of inner strength that makes wise governance possible. The private chambers lie ahead, and within them the evening rituals await: the cleansing, the anointing, the offerings, the final preparations for sleep. But for now, in this transitional moment, there is simply the slow walk through lamplit corridors, the sense of day dissolving gently into memory, and the peaceful knowledge that the night will bring its own gifts, its own sacred time. The pharaoh walks steadily, calmly, breathing in rhythm with each step, feeling the body begin to slow, to soften, to prepare for the journey ahead. The transition has begun, and it unfolds with the natural grace of sunset, unhurried and inevitable, perfect in its timing, beautiful in its simplicity. The pharaoh walks steadily, calmly, breathing in rhythm with each step, feeling the body begin to slow, to soften, to prepare for the journey ahead. The transition has begun, and it unfolds with the natural grace of sunset, unhurried and inevitable, perfect in its timing, beautiful in its simplicity. And now the footsteps lead down a corridor lit by gentle oil lamps, their flames barely moving in the still air, casting a warm amber glow against walls painted with scenes of life along the Nile. Each step brings the pharaoh closer to the private bathing chamber, a sacred space hidden deep within the palace where the outside world cannot intrude, where the noise and demands of rulership dissolve like mist at dawn. The corridor narrows slightly, becomes more intimate, and ahead there is the soft sound of water being poured, the quiet murmur of attendants preparing, the faint fragrance of oils and incense drifting on the air like a promise of peace. The doorway appears, draped with fine linen in deep indigo, the color of the night sky. And as the pharaoh passes through this threshold, the atmosphere changes completely. The air here is warmer, humid, with steam that rises from large copper vessels filled with heated water. Candles and oil lamps are arranged throughout the chamber, their light reflecting off polished stone surfaces, creating a soft golden luminescence that seems to breathe and pulse gently, as if the room itself is alive with calm intention. The attendants, priests trained in the ancient rituals of purification, bow their heads in respectful greeting but remain silent, for this is a time beyond words, a time of transition and release. Everything in this chamber has been prepared with meticulous care. The water has been warmed to precisely the right temperature, neither too hot nor too cool, but perfectly matched to the body's own warmth, so that entering it will feel like returning to an original state of comfort, of being held and supported without effort. Into this water, natron salt has been dissolved, the same sacred mineral used in the preparation of the honored dead. For purification is about transformation, about leaving behind what no longer serves, about preparing for a different kind of existence, even if only for the hours of sleep. The chamber smells of lotus flowers, their sweet, slightly green fragrance mixing with the sharper notes of frankincense that rises from a small brazier in the corner. This combination of scents is both grounding and elevating, connecting the earthly body with the divine realm, reminding the pharaoh that sleep is not merely rest but a sacred journey, a temporary crossing into the world of dreams where gods and humans meet. The pharaoh stands still for a moment, simply breathing, allowing the warmth and fragrance to wash over consciousness like a gentle wave, softening thoughts, releasing tension from the shoulders, the jaw, the brow. An attendant steps forward, moving with practiced grace, and begins to remove the royal garments, each piece set aside with reverence, until the pharaoh stands unadorned, no longer ruler, but simply human, vulnerable and open to the ritual that will follow. There is profound peace in this shedding of identity, in allowing the weight of the crown and the burden of decisions to fall away, even temporarily. The body underneath the royal vestments is just a body, made of flesh and bone, deserving of gentleness, worthy of care. And now, with gentle guidance, the pharaoh steps into the prepared bath, and the water receives the body with perfect welcome, neither shocking nor tepid, but exactly right, enveloping the legs, the hips, the torso in liquid warmth that seems to dissolve the boundary between self and surroundings. The pharaoh lowers slowly, carefully, until seated on the smooth stone bench built into the bath, the water now reaching the shoulders, supporting the weight completely, so that muscles can finally let go of their constant holding, their perpetual readiness. In this moment, there is no need to stand tall, no need to project strength or wisdom or authority. Here, in the privacy of this sacred chamber, there is only permission to soften, to yield, to allow the body to be cared for by others. One of the priests begins to chant, his voice low and rhythmic, the ancient words flowing like the water itself, syllables that have been spoken in this same ritual for generations upon generations, connecting this moment to countless other moments, this pharaoh to all the pharaohs who came before, creating a thread of continuity that stretches back through time like a golden cord. The words speak of purification, of washing away not only physical dirt, but also spiritual residue, the frustrations of the day, the worries about tomorrow, the endless small concerns that accumulate like dust on a traveler's feet. An attendant dips a large sea sponge into the water and raises it above the pharaoh's shoulders, then gently squeezes, and warm water cascades down the back in rivulets, each stream tracing its own path across the skin, and the sensation is exquisite, simple, yet profound, the feeling of being cleansed, of being renewed. The sponge is dipped again, and again the water flows, this time across the shoulders and down the chest, and with each application there is a sense of release, as if tension itself is being washed away, dissolved into the water, carried away to some place where it no longer matters. The natron salt in the water has a subtle effect, slightly purifying, leaving the skin feeling clean in a way that goes beyond the physical, as if the very essence of the body is being polished, prepared, made ready for sacred rest. Another attendant brings a small bowl of prepared paste made from crushed lotus petals mixed with honey and fine clay, and begins to apply this gently to the pharaoh's face, spreading it across the forehead, the cheeks, the chin with fingertips that barely touch, that move like whispers across the skin. The paste is cool and smooth, and as it sits on the face, there is a feeling of drawing out impurities, of absorbing away any heat or irritation, any tightness or holding. The pharaoh closes eyes, surrendering to the experience, trusting in the ancient wisdom of these practices, in the hands of those who perform them with such care and dedication. Time begins to stretch and blur. It becomes difficult to know whether minutes have passed or much longer. The rhythm of the ritual creates its own kind of time, measured not by the movement of shadows, but by the repetition of gestures, the cycling of prayers, the gradual deepening of relaxation. The water is refreshed with additional warm water poured from a vessel, and the temperature rises slightly, encouraging even deeper release, inviting the body to open, to soften, to let go at levels usually protected and held tight. Steam rises around the pharaoh's head, creating a soft veil between this moment and the rest of the world, and breathing this warm, fragrant air feels like inhaling peace itself, filling the lungs with tranquility, with calm, with readiness for what comes next. The lotus paste is gently wiped away now, with soft cloths dampened in warm water, and the skin beneath feels refreshed, renewed, as if years have been lifted away, as if the face itself has been given permission to rest, to release the expressions it has held throughout the day, the composed dignity, the thoughtful concern, the measured responses to endless questions and requests. An attendant offers a hand, and the pharaoh rises slowly from the bath, water streaming from the body, catching the lamplight and falling back into the pool in patterns that shimmer and dance. Warm linen towels are brought forward, wrapped around the shoulders, the torso, soft and absorbent, patting gently rather than rubbing, treating the skin with the same reverence one might show to sacred artifacts. And now comes the next phase of the ritual, perhaps the most luxurious and deeply calming of all, the application of sacred oils. A low padded bench has been prepared, covered in fine linen, and the pharaoh reclines here, lying face down, arms resting comfortably at the sides, head turned slightly to one side, cheek against the soft fabric. The position itself invites surrender, for to lie down is to trust, to give up vigilance, to accept care. The chamber is quiet now, except for the soft sounds of oil being poured from one vessel to another, the gentle breathing of those present, the distant whisper of fabric moving. One of the attendants warms a small amount of oil between his palms, preparing it, awakening its properties, and then places both hands gently on the pharaoh's upper back, just below the neck where so much tension gathers like a stone. The hands rest there for a moment, not moving, simply present, allowing their warmth to transfer, announcing their intention. And then, slowly, they begin to move. The pressure is firm, but never harsh, steady, but never rushing, and the hands glide across the skin, following the lines of muscle, the curves of shoulder blade and spine, spreading the oil in long, deliberate strokes that seem designed not merely to coat the surface, but to communicate something deeper: care, respect, the acknowledgement of the body's service throughout the day, gratitude for all it has carried and accomplished. The oil itself is precious beyond measure. It contains myrrh, that ancient resin prized for its deep, slightly bitter, earthy fragrance that grounds and centers, that connects consciousness to the physical realm while simultaneously lifting the spirit. It contains frankincense, its scent sharp and clean, clarifying, often burned in temples to carry prayers upward to the gods, and here it carries the intention of purification, of making sacred this ordinary body, this ordinary moment. And it contains essence of lotus, that flower, which rises from mud to bloom in perfect beauty, symbol of rebirth and transformation, its fragrance sweet and slightly mysterious, capable of inducing a state of calm contemplation, of gentle dreaming, even while awake. These three oils, blended together with a base of pure almond oil, create a scent that is complex and layered, impossible to describe fully, but deeply affecting, entering the body through breath and through skin simultaneously, working their ancient magic on both physical and subtle levels. The hands move down the spine now, thumbs pressing gently along the channel on either side of the vertebrae, releasing tension held deep in muscles that support the body's upright posture, that bear the literal weight of the crown. Each stroke is slow, measured, intentional, and the rhythm itself becomes almost meditative, a pulse that the body begins to synchronize with, that the breath naturally matches, creating a harmony between giver and receiver, between movement and stillness. The massage continues, moving across the shoulders now, those places where responsibility sits most heavily, where the physical manifestation of leadership creates knots and tightness that can persist for years if never addressed, never softened. But here, now, under these skilled and reverent hands, even the oldest tension begins to yield, to soften, to release its grip. The attendant's fingers find the specific places where muscle attaches to bone, where stress accumulates in dense points, and applies gentle, sustained pressure, not forcing, not demanding, but simply offering an invitation to let go, and gradually, incrementally, the body accepts this invitation. The arms are lifted, one at a time, and oil is smoothed along their length, from shoulder to wrist, and then the hands themselves receive attention, each finger massaged individually, the palms kneaded gently. And there is something particularly touching about this, about having the hands cared for, these instruments that gesture and grasp, that write and bless, that carry out so much of the will throughout the day. To have them held, attended to, honored, creates a feeling that is almost emotional, though the pharaoh remains in a state too peaceful for strong emotion, experiencing instead a gentle warmth, a quiet gratitude. The attendant indicates silently that it is time to turn over, and the pharaoh rolls slowly onto the back, now looking upward at the ceiling of the chamber, where painted stars form constellations against a deep blue background, ancient maps of the night sky that have guided travelers and dreamers for generations. The oil massage continues on the front of the body now, beginning with the chest, the area around the heart, and the touch here is even gentler, for this is a vulnerable place, a place of feeling, and to allow it to be touched requires deep trust. The hands move in circular patterns, clockwise, following the direction that ancient wisdom says encourages calm and integration, and the pharaoh breathes deeply, feeling the chest rise and fall beneath the warm oil-slicked hands, feeling the heart beat steadily, reliably, that faithful organ that never rests, even when consciousness sleeps. The oil is applied to the legs now, from thighs to feet, long sweeping strokes that seem to draw tension downward and away, out through the soles of the feet and into the earth itself, as if the body is a vessel that is being emptied of everything unnecessary, everything that weighs it down or keeps it from floating freely into sleep. The feet themselves receive careful attention, each arch pressed firmly, each toe gently pulled and rotated, and this attention to the feet, to the parts of the body that carry us through the world, that touch the ground with every step, feels like a completion of the purification, for now the entire body has been acknowledged, honored, cleansed, and anointed. The priests continue their soft chanting throughout this process, their voices never rising, never calling for attention, but simply providing a sonic backdrop that is both structure and space, both presence and absence, sound that fills the chamber without cluttering it, that supports the ritual without dominating it. The words they chant speak of protection, of gratitude to the gods, of safe passage through the night, of the body as a temple that houses the divine spark, worthy of care and reverence. And the pharaoh lying still now, the massage complete, the oil soaking into skin and muscle and bone, carrying its properties deep into the body's tissues, feels profoundly at peace, profoundly prepared, as if some essential work has been completed, as if a necessary transition has been accomplished. The body feels both heavier and lighter, heavier with relaxation, with the pleasant weight of muscles that have finally let go, and lighter with the absence of tension, the release of all the holding that usually goes unnoticed but never stops. A final soft cloth is brought, and any excess oil is gently blotted away, leaving the skin smooth and glowing in the lamplight, fragrant with those precious scents that will linger throughout the night, that will follow the pharaoh into dreams, perhaps influencing their quality, their depth, their content. A light robe is offered now, made of the finest linen, so thin it is almost weightless, and as it settles over the shoulders and falls around the body, it feels like being clothed in air, in softness itself, providing just enough covering to make the transition back to the world beyond this chamber, but nothing that restricts or binds. The pharaoh stands slowly, and the body feels different now than it did when entering this space, softer, warmer, more fluid, as if the very structure has been altered, made more permeable, more open to rest. The attendants bow deeply, their work complete, their role in this ancient ritual fulfilled once more, as it has been fulfilled countless times before, as it will be fulfilled countless times again, a sacred duty passed down through generations, preserved and protected because of its importance, its necessity, its power to prepare both body and spirit for the journey of sleep. The pharaoh moves toward the doorway, each step slow and mindful, feeling the way the robe moves against oil-smoothed skin, feeling the lingering warmth from the massage, the way the muscles now move more freely, with less resistance, as if some essential lubricant has been restored. The fragrance of myrrh, frankincense, and lotus travels in a subtle cloud around the body, creating a personal atmosphere, a portable sanctuary of scent that will accompany the pharaoh through the next stages of the evening ritual. Leaving the bathing chamber feels like emerging from a cocoon, like being reborn into a gentler version of the world, where everything is softer, quieter, more conducive to the inner journey that approaches. The corridor beyond is dimmer than before, or perhaps it only seems so because the eyes have adjusted to the particular quality of light in the bathing chamber, or perhaps because the evening has progressed and lamps have been allowed to burn lower, their oil diminishing, their flames settling into the steady, reduced glow that will carry them through the remaining hours before dawn. The pharaoh walks with no hurry, no destination that demands rapid arrival, simply moving from one sacred space toward the next. Each step an extension of the ritual that has just been completed, each breath drawing in the peace that has been so carefully cultivated. The body feels clean in a way that goes beyond physical cleanliness, feels purified in a deeper sense, as if not only the surface, but also the interior has been washed, prepared, made ready. There is a lightness in the limbs, a pleasant heaviness in the core, a balance between alertness and drowsiness that is exactly right for what comes next. The mind, too, has been affected by the ritual, though it was the body that was bathed and massaged. Consciousness itself feels cleaner, less cluttered, as if the physical purification has created a corresponding inner spaciousness, a clarity that is not sharp or bright, but soft and receptive, open to whatever the night may bring. The transition that began with the setting sun, that continued with the walk through the palace corridors, that deepened in the bathing chamber with water and oil and reverent touch, this transition continues now, unfolding naturally, carrying the pharaoh steadily, inevitably, toward rest, toward dreams, toward the temporary release of identity and duty that sleep provides. And there is no resistance to this movement, no part of the being that fights against it, for the ritual has done its work, has prepared the way, has made the path smooth and inviting, so that all that remains is to follow it, to trust it, to allow it to lead toward the peace that awaits. And so the path leads onward, through corridors grown quieter still, past the attendants who bow with eyes lowered in respect, past the guards who stand like statues in the dimming light, toward the most sacred space within the palace walls, the private sanctuary, a place known only to the pharaoh and the highest priests, a chamber where the divine and the mortal meet in whispered conversation, where the gods draw near to listen, where the evening prayers rise like smoke toward the heavens. The doorway is narrow, modest even, for this is not a space meant to impress with grandeur, but to embrace with intimacy. Beyond the threshold, lamplight flickers golden and warm, casting gentle shadows that dance across walls painted with protective symbols. The eye of Horus watching over all, the scarab beetle carrying the promise of renewal, the sistrum that makes no sound yet speaks of harmony. The air here is different, thicker, rich with the memory of 1,000 prayers spoken before, laden with the fragrance of incense that has burned each evening for generations. Myrrh and frankincense and kifi, that most sacred blend, the smoke of which carries intentions upward to the realm where gods dwell among stars. The pharaoh enters slowly, and with the crossing of that threshold, something shifts. The weight of the crown, though already lessened by bath and oil, transforms into something else entirely. Not burden, but responsibility. Not power, but service. For here, in this small sanctuary, the pharaoh comes not as ruler, but as devotee, not as commander, but as child of the divine, seeking blessing, seeking protection, seeking the peace that comes from fulfilling duty to those who watch over the two lands. The floor is cool stone beneath bare feet, smooth from centuries of reverent footsteps. Along the walls, small alcoves hold statues of the night deities, each one painted in colors that glow softly in lamplight: lapis lazuli blue and gold leaf, carnelian red and malachite green. And at the center of the sanctuary, a small altar of alabaster, translucent and luminous, upon which the evening offerings will be placed. The pharaoh approaches slowly, and with each step there is a shedding, a releasing, a letting go of all that belongs to the daylight world. Here, in this sacred space, there is only the present moment, only the quiet communion between mortal and divine, only the gentle rhythm of breath and prayer and offering. The lamp flames barely move, yet their light creates a living presence, warm and watchful, filling the sanctuary with a golden glow that seems to come not from fire, but from something deeper, something eternal. The pharaoh stands before the altar, hands at rest, breathing in the sacred air, allowing the sanctuary to work its ancient magic, to quiet the mind and open the heart. And in this stillness, the ritual begins. Not with haste, not with formality, but with the ease of long practice, with the comfort of tradition that stretches back beyond memory, beyond history, to the first gods who taught mortals how to honor the divine. From a small ebony box beside the altar, the pharaoh removes the first offering. Bread, simple, round, golden brown, baked fresh this evening from the finest wheat, shaped by hands that understand the sacredness of this task. The bread is placed gently upon the altar, and as it settles onto the cool alabaster, there is a whisper of prayer, words spoken so softly they are almost thought rather than sound. An offering of sustenance, an acknowledgement that all nourishment comes from the gods, that all life flows from divine generosity. The bread sits there, humble and perfect, catching the lamplight. Next comes water, pure and clear, drawn from the Nile at dawn when the river runs most sacred, poured into a small cup of faience, turquoise blue like the sky at midday, like the color of rebirth and protection. The water is placed beside the bread, and again the quiet prayer, the acknowledgement of debt and gratitude. For water is life in this desert land. Water is the gift that transforms sand into garden, that makes civilization possible, that flows through the veins of Egypt like the blood through a body. And then the incense. This is the offering that will rise, that will carry all prayers upward on spiraling smoke, that will fill the sanctuary with fragrance and presence. The pharaoh lifts a small handful of kaifi from a golden bowl, a mixture of frankincense and myrrh, honey and wine, cedar and juniper, 16 sacred ingredients blended according to ancient formula, the recipe guarded by priests for 3,000 years. The granules are dark and resinous, fragrant even before they meet flame. With slow deliberation, the pharaoh sprinkles the kiphi onto the glowing coals in a bronze censer. Immediately, the smoke begins to rise, thick and white and impossibly fragrant. The scent unfolds in layers: sweet honey, bitter myrrh, sharp frankincense, woody cedar, each breath revealing something new, something deeper. The smoke spirals upward in lazy curves, illuminated by lamplight, creating patterns that seem almost intentional, almost like writing, like the gods themselves are responding, are acknowledging the offering, are drawing near. As the incense smoke continues its upward journey, the pharaoh turns attention to the first of the night deities, to Nut, goddess of the sky. Her statue stands in the eastern alcove, painted in deep lapis blue, her body arched like the heavens themselves, stars scattered across her form like gems, her face serene and maternal, protective and vast. Nut, who swallows the sun each evening and births it again each morning. Nut, who stretches across the world, whose body forms the dome of heaven, beneath whom all mortals sleep protected. The pharaoh bows before her image, and the prayer that rises is soft, personal, a conversation with the Divine Mother. Words of gratitude for the day that has passed, for the son's journey completed safely, for the protection she provides to all who rest beneath her starry form. Words of trust that tonight too will be safe, that sleep will come gently, that dreams will be peaceful beneath her watching gaze. The incense smoke drifts toward the statue as if drawn by invisible currents, as if Nut herself is breathing it in, accepting the offering, blessing the one who makes it. There is no response in words, yet there is response nonetheless. A deepening of the peace in the sanctuary, a settling in the chest, a sense of being held, being seen, being cherished by forces far greater than any earthly power. The pharaoh stands for a long moment in this communion, simply breathing, simply being present, allowing the connection to strengthen, to become real, to fill the spaces within that yearn for reassurance. And then, with slow grace, the pharaoh moves to the western alcove, where Bez keeps his vigilant watch. Bez, the guardian of sleep. Bez, the protector of rest. Unlike the elegant deities with their slim forms and regal bearing, Bez is different, squat and strong, with a leonine face, tongue protruding, a figure both fierce and comforting, like a loyal guardian who drives away nightmares with his very presence. His statue is small but powerful, painted in warm ochres and reds, his eyes wide and alert even as he guards the realm of sleep. The pharaoh smiles slightly, for there is affection here, fondness for this deity who watches over the vulnerable hours, who stands guard at the threshold between waking and dreaming, ensuring safe passage. The prayer offered to Bes is simpler, more direct, a request for protection through the night, for rest undisturbed by dark dreams or wandering spirits, for the gift of sleep that heals and restores. And again, the incense smoke drifts toward the statue, curling around Bez as if he himself is gathering it close, accepting the offering, taking up his post for another night. With the prayers to Nut and Bez complete, the pharaoh returns to stand before the central altar, and here the ritual deepens into something even more intimate, more personal. For the offerings have been made, the deities have been honored, and now there is space for reflection, for the quiet contemplation that comes when duty is fulfilled, when all that was required has been given freely and with full heart. The incense continues to burn, the smoke rising steadily, and the pharaoh watches it spiral upward, following its path with eyes that grow softer, more distant, as if seeing beyond the smoke to something further, something eternal. There is wisdom in this practice, in these ancient rituals performed each evening for thousands of years, for they create a boundary, a threshold, a clear line between the world of action and the world of rest. They tell the body, the mind, the spirit that the day is complete, that all obligations have been met, that permission is granted to release, to surrender, to let go. Without such markers, the mind continues to work, continues to plan and worry and review, continues to carry the weight even into sleep. But with the ritual complete, with the gods acknowledged and offerings made, there is completion. There is peace. There is the profound relief that comes from knowing that all is as it should be, that the universe is in order, that one can rest without guilt or anxiety or unfinished business pulling at the edges of consciousness. The pharaoh breathes deeply, drawing in the fragrant smoke, feeling it settle into lungs and blood, carrying with it the blessing of the sacred herbs, the prayers of countless generations, the protection of the deities who have accepted the offerings. And with the exhale, there is release, the last tensions of the day, the final thoughts of governance and decision, the residual concerns about tomorrow. All of it flows out like water, like smoke, dispersing into the sanctuary where it can no longer disturb. The lamplight flickers gently, and in that small movement there is life, there is companionship, there is the sense that the sanctuary itself is breathing along with the pharaoh, that this space holds consciousness, holds awareness, holds intention toward peace. The painted symbols on the walls seem to glow with more than reflected light, as if they too are alive, as if they too are participating in this moment of sacred transition. The Eye of Horus watches with benevolence. The scarab beetle promises renewal with dawn. The sistrum speaks silently of harmony restored. All of it working together, all of it creating a container for rest, a vessel for peace, a sanctuary in every sense of the word. And so the ritual comes to its natural conclusion, not with ceremony or declaration, but with simple completion, with the quiet settling that comes when all has been done, all has been offered, all has been acknowledged. The pharaoh stands a moment longer before the altar, hands resting open and relaxed, palms upward in a gesture of receptivity, of willingness to receive the blessings that flow in return for offerings made. And they do flow. Not as dramatic revelation, not as thunderbolt or vision, but as deepening peace, as calm that penetrates beneath the surface of awareness, as the profound sense of being supported by forces greater than self, by traditions older than memory, by the love of gods who watch over their children through all the hours of day and night. The incense continues to burn, and it will burn through the hours ahead, filling the sanctuary with fragrance, keeping vigil while the pharaoh sleeps, maintaining the connection between mortal and divine like a thread of smoke, like a bridge of light. The lamps will burn too, their small flames steady and watchful, ensuring that even in deepest night, the sanctuary is never completely dark, that the gods are never without offering, that the peace established here continues to radiate outward, filling the palace, filling the land. Slowly, with reverence, the pharaoh steps back from the altar. There is no haste, no sudden movement, only the gentle withdrawal of one who has completed what was needed, who has fulfilled the sacred duty, who now has permission to move toward rest. The cool stone floor beneath bare feet, the final breath of incense-laden air, the quiet acknowledgement to Nut, to Bez, to all the protective deities whose presence fills this space. And then the pharaoh turns toward the doorway, toward the corridor that leads to the bedchamber, toward the final stage of preparation before sleep can claim what it has been promised. The weight that was carried here has been left behind, placed on the altar, given to the gods, released into smoke and prayer and trust. What remains is lighter, cleaner, ready for rest. The sanctuary remains behind, but its peace travels forward, woven into breath, into body, into being. The ritual has done its work. The path is clear. The night awaits, gentle and welcoming, protected by divine blessing, sanctified by ancient practice. And all that remains now is to follow that path toward the peaceful conclusion, toward the soft bed and quiet darkness, toward the release of consciousness into the healing realm of sleep, where even pharaohs become as innocent as children, held safe beneath the starry body of Nut, guarded through the dreaming hours by faithful Bez, until morning returns with its gift of renewal. And now, with offerings complete and sacred duties fulfilled, the pharaoh moves through the palace with steps that are slower, softer, freed from the formality of daylight hours. The corridors here are narrower, more intimate, lit only by the occasional lamp that casts pools of amber light against walls painted with scenes of eternal peace. The way to the bedchamber is familiar, walked countless times, yet tonight, as always, it feels like a small pilgrimage, a journey from the world of action and decision toward the sanctuary of rest. The pharaoh's footfalls make barely a whisper against the cool stone floor, and with each step, something releases. the vigilance required throughout the day, the careful attention to matters of state, the weight of appearing always as the living embodiment of divine order. Here, in these private passages, such burdens can begin to fall away like lotus petals drifting to still water. The air grows cooler, fresher, touched with the fragrance that signals nearness to the sleeping chamber, the unmistakable sweetness of lotus blossoms, the subtle warmth of lamp oil, and beneath it all, the clean scent of linen that has been washed and dried under the generous Egyptian sun. A servant appears from the shadows, bowing low, then opening the carved cedar door without a sound, revealing the soft glow within. The pharaoh pauses for just a moment at the threshold, drawing a deep breath, then steps across into the room that has been prepared with such meticulous care. This is the space where crown and title hold no sway, where even a pharaoh may become simply a soul seeking rest. The chamber welcomes like a gentle embrace, its atmosphere hushed and holy, designed through generations of wisdom for exactly this purpose, the sacred transition from waking to sleep, from effort to surrender. Everything here has been arranged by hands that understand the rituals of rest as deeply as priests understand the rituals of worship. The lamps have been set to cast their light at precise angles, creating illumination that soothes rather than stimulates. The bed has been prepared with layers of the finest linen, each sheet smoothed with patience until not a single wrinkle remains. And beside the headrest, as tradition requires, fresh lotus blossoms have been placed, their petals just beginning to close as night deepens, their fragrance a bridge between earth and the realm of dreams. The pharaoh stands for a moment, simply breathing, simply being, allowing eyes to adjust to the gentle lamplight, allowing the peace of this space to settle around shoulders that have carried so much throughout the day. The attendants move with practiced silence, completing their final preparations, their movements slow and deliberate, each gesture part of a choreography perfected over years of service. One adjusts the placement of a lamp, ensuring its flame burns steady and true. Another smooths a hand across the topmost linen sheet, though it needs no smoothing, the gesture itself a prayer for the pharaoh's restful sleep. A third carefully arranges the lotus blossoms, turning each flower slightly so its beauty can be appreciated even in the dimness, so its fragrance will drift most perfectly toward the place where the pharaoh's head will rest. These servants have attended this ritual so many times that they move almost as one being, anticipating each other's movements, requiring no words, no direction. They understand that their purpose now is not merely to prepare a room, but to create an atmosphere of absolute peace, to remove any possible disturbance from the pharaoh's path towards sleep. And so they work with a reverence that matches any temple ceremony, treating each fold of fabric, each placement of object, as an act of devotion. The pharaoh watches them with deep appreciation, though no words are exchanged. There is comfort in this familiar dance, in knowing that these same hands have prepared this space night after night, that these same careful souls will be here tomorrow and tomorrow, maintaining the rituals that allow even a god-king to rest. One by one, the attendants complete their tasks, and one by one, they approach the pharaoh with heads bowed, receiving a gentle gesture of acknowledgement and dismissal. They withdraw backward, never turning away until they reach the door, and then they slip through it as silently as shadows, closing it behind them with such care that it makes barely a whisper of sound. And then, for the first time since dawn, the pharaoh is truly alone. The solitude descends like a blessing, like cool water in the desert. No eyes watching, no ears listening, no expectations to meet, no role to perform. Just this room, this lamplight, this quietness that seems to have texture and weight, settling softly over everything. The pharaoh moves toward the bed with slow steps, pausing to look at the painted walls that surround this sacred space. The images depicted there are familiar friends, scenes of the afterlife, rendered in colors that have softened over time into gentle blues and faded golds and creams that seem to glow in the lamplight. There are the fields of reeds where the blessed souls walk in eternal peace. There is the boat of Ra crossing the night sky. There are the protective deities standing watch with calm, benevolent faces. These images have been the last things seen before sleep, and the first things seen upon waking for so long now, that they feel like guardians, like silent companions who keep watch through the vulnerable hours of darkness. The pharaoh reaches up with both hands and carefully removes the royal crown, the weight of it suddenly noticeable as it lifts away, leaving behind a lightness that spreads from head down through neck and shoulders. The crown is placed with reverence on its stand, where it will rest until morning calls it back into service. Without its presence, the pharaoh's posture shifts, softens, becoming more natural, more human. Hands move to the elaborate collar, unfastening the clasps with familiar motions, feeling the heavy gold lift away, the cool air touching skin that has been covered since dawn. The collar joins the crown, precious metal gleaming softly in the lamplight, but no longer requiring attention, no longer demanding to be worn with perfect posture and unwavering dignity. Layer by layer, the regalia of rulership is set aside, and with each piece removed, the pharaoh breathes a little more deeply, stands a little less rigidly, allows the true self beneath the symbols to emerge. The formal kilt is replaced with a simple sleeping garment of the softest linen, fabric so fine it seems to float rather than drape, touching skin with barely more weight than a whisper. This is linen woven by master craftspeople who understand that what touches the pharaoh's skin in sleep must be perfect in its simplicity, must soothe rather than irritate, must allow the body to forget it wears anything at all. Now, dressed in this simplest of garments, the pharaoh approaches the bed itself, reaching out to touch the uppermost sheet, feeling its coolness against palm, its smoothness that speaks of careful washing and patient drying and meticulous preparation. This linen, too, is extraordinary in its quality, thread count so high that it feels almost like silk, yet it breathes as only linen can, drawing away the heat of the day, offering coolness without coldness, comfort without constriction. The pharaoh sits on the edge of the bed, feeling it receive weight with gentle support, the mattress filled with materials chosen for their perfect balance of softness and stability. For a long moment, sitting there in the lamplight, there is nothing to do but breathe, nothing to accomplish, nowhere to be except exactly here. The lotus fragrance drifts through the air, sweet and slightly mysterious, the scent that belongs to endings and beginnings, to the closing of day and the opening of the dream realm. Outside, beyond the high windows, the night has fully arrived. The sounds of the palace have diminished to almost nothing. Somewhere distant, a night bird calls, its voice carrying across the gardens. Somewhere beyond the palace walls, the Nile flows as it has flowed for countless generations, steady and eternal, its presence a comfort even when unseen. The pharaoh draws legs up onto the bed, feeling the coolness of linen against skin, feeling the way the carefully prepared sheets seem to embrace without clinging, support without constraining. The body settles back, head finding the headrest with its perfect curve designed to cradle without causing strain, angled precisely to allow the breath to flow freely, the spine to align naturally. The headrest is smooth beneath neck and head, its surface cool at first touch, but quickly warming to body temperature, becoming not an object but simply part of the experience of lying down, of letting go, of allowing the bed to hold everything. Hands rest at sides, palms open, no longer needing to grasp or gesture or make any sign of authority. The eyes remain open for now, gazing upward at the painted ceiling where stars have been rendered in gold leaf against a background of deep blue, each one placed according to the actual patterns visible in the night sky, so that even here, sheltered beneath stone and timber, the pharaoh rests beneath the representation of heaven itself. These painted stars seem to pulse gently in the flickering lamplight, creating an illusion of life, of movement, as if the ceiling itself breathes. It is an effect the artisans intended, understanding that what the eyes see in those final moments before sleep should encourage the mind to drift, to float, to release its hold on the concerns of the waking world. Breathing naturally, effortlessly, the pharaoh notices the gentle rise and fall of chest, the coolness of air entering through nose, the slight warmth of air exhaling, the rhythm that requires no thought, no control, that continues whether attended to or not. This breath has sustained the body through every moment of life, through ceremony and conflict, through triumph and challenge, and now it carries the pharaoh gently towards sleep with the same faithful reliability, the same steady service. The lamplight continues its gentle dance across the walls, creating shadows that shift and sway, never harsh, never startling, just a soft movement that gives the stillness texture, that makes the piece feel alive rather than static. The lotus fragrance has become so much a part of the air now that it is barely noticed consciously, yet it works its subtle magic, its properties known for generations to encourage calm, to open the pathways between waking and dreaming, to invite the soul to loosen its grip on the day's concerns. Everything in this room, every carefully chosen element, every precisely placed object, every scent and texture and quality of light has been orchestrated toward this single purpose, to create the perfect conditions for the Pharaoh's rest, to honor sleep as the sacred ritual it truly is. And now, resting here in perfect comfort, the Pharaoh feels the final release beginning, that subtle shift that marks the border between waking and sleep, when thoughts begin to loosen from their linear patterns, when the body grows heavy with beautiful, welcome heaviness, when awareness starts to expand and soften at the same time, becoming both larger and quieter, both more spacious and more intimate. The eyes grow heavy, lids beginning to lower, the painted stars above becoming softer, slightly blurred, less distinct, less important, fading gently like the day itself has faded. There is no effort in this transition, no work to be done, nothing to achieve. Sleep comes as naturally as sunset, as inevitable as the Nile's flow, as gentle as lotus petals closing when evening arrives. The body knows how to do this, has done it every night of life, and the wisdom of countless nights guides this moment now, allowing each muscle to release its tension in perfect sequence, allowing each thought to drift past like clouds across the desert sky, noticed but not grasped, acknowledged but not held. The breath continues its steady rhythm, perhaps slower now, deeper, each exhalation a small surrender, a gentle letting go of one more fragment of wakefulness. The coolness of the linen has become simply the temperature of comfort, no longer noticed as separate from the body's own temperature, all boundaries softening, all distinctions blurring into the unified experience of rest. Outside the window, visible through half-closed eyes, the stars are appearing in the actual sky now, the same patterns echoed on the ceiling, the same eternal lights that have watched over Egypt since time before memory, since before the first pharaoh, since before the pyramids rose from desert sand. They are watching now, constant and faithful, as they will watch through all the hours of darkness, keeping their vigil while the pharaoh sleeps. And somewhere in the room, though the eyes are too heavy now to look, the lamp flames continue their gentle dance, and the lotus blossoms continue their slow closing, and the painted figures on the walls stand in their eternal poses of protection and peace. Everything is exactly as it should be. Everything is safe. Everything is held in the great pattern of night and rest and renewal. The crown waits on its stand, patient, knowing it will be needed again when morning comes, but that time is distant now, separated by all the healing hours of sleep that stretch ahead like a calm sea. For now, there is only this moment of release, this perfect surrender, this sweet descent into the realm where even pharaohs become as simple as sleeping children, protected by the gods of night, cradled in the great hands of Nut, whose star-covered body arches over all of Egypt, guarded by faithful Bez, who watches over every sleeper with particular tenderness for those who have carried heavy burdens through the day. And now, letting go, drifting, breathing, releasing into the gentle darkness, into peace, into sleep. And so the journey begins. Not a journey of motion or effort, but a gentle dissolving into the sacred realm of dreams. The pharaoh's chest rises and falls, in the ancient rhythm that connects all living things to the eternal pulse of the universe. Through the high window, the night sky reveals itself in all its magnificent stillness. The same stars that guided the pyramid builders, the same constellations that watched over countless generations of kings and queens, all gazing down now with patient, timeless benevolence. The goddess Nut stretches across the heavens, her star-covered form arching from horizon to horizon, and beneath her protection, all concerns of the daylight world grow distant, fading, becoming as insubstantial as morning mist over the Nile. The breathing deepens, slows, each exhale releasing a little more tension, a little more thought, a little more awareness of anything beyond this peaceful moment of surrender. In the philosophy of the ancients, sleep was never seen as mere absence of waking. It was understood as a sacred passage, a nightly voyage to the realm of the gods, where the soul could wander free, renew itself, and touch the eternal. And so the pharaoh does not simply fall asleep, but rather embarks on this holy journey, protected by the guardian deities, blessed by the evening prayers, purified by the sacred oils still lingering on the skin. The lamplight flickers once, twice, its golden glow dancing across the painted walls, where scenes of the peaceful afterlife seem to breathe with quiet life. Figures harvesting eternal wheat in fields that never know drought, boats sailing forever on calm waters, all so peaceful, so perfectly still. The air is cool and soft, carrying the faintest whisper of lotus and frankincense, scents that ground the spirit while allowing the mind to drift, to float, to release its grip on the waking world. There is nothing to do now, nowhere to go, no duties to fulfill, no crown to wear, only this gentle darkness, this sacred rest, this ancient rhythm of breath and heartbeat, becoming slower, softer, quieter, like footsteps fading into sand. Breath by breath, the journey continues, deeper into tranquility, further from the shores of waking thought. The pharaoh's body has become perfectly still upon the fine linen sheets, cool fabric against warm skin, a gentle contrast that somehow enhances the sense of peace, of being held, supported, cradled by the earth itself. Beyond the palace walls, the great Nile flows on through the darkness, its eternal current steady and sure, just as it has flowed for thousands of years, just as it will flow for thousands more. The river knows nothing of hurry or worry. It simply moves with patient inevitability toward its destined meeting with the sea. And in this moment, the pharaoh's breathing finds the same patient rhythm, the same gentle, unstoppable flow, moving naturally toward the sea of sleep. The stars continue their slow rotation across the sky, marking time in the ancient way, each constellation a story told by the gods themselves. There is Orion, the great hunter, associated with Osiris, lord of the afterlife and resurrection, watching over all who travel through the realms of night. And there, the stars that form the celestial bark in which Ra himself sails through the underworld during the hours of darkness, bringing light to even the deepest shadows. These are friendly presences, divine companions on the journey. Nothing to fear in this gentle darkness, only protection, only peace. The painted ceiling above the bed depicts a midnight sky of its own, lapis lazuli blue scattered with golden stars, and in the flickering lamplight, these painted stars seem to pulse gently, as if breathing in harmony with the pharaoh's own slow breath. The boundary between the painted sky and the real sky visible through the window begins to blur. It no longer matters which is which. All is one seamless vault of sacred darkness, sprinkled with points of eternal light. The small guardian statue of Bes placed near the bed seems to radiate a gentle, protective energy. This dwarf god who guards sleep and wards off nightmares, who brings joy and peaceful dreams to those under his care. Nothing harmful can enter this space. Nothing disturbing can penetrate this sanctuary. All is well, all is safe, all is exactly as it should be. The breath continues its gentle rhythm, in and out, each cycle bringing deeper relaxation, more complete surrender, more perfect peace. Somewhere in the palace gardens, lotus flowers are slowly closing their petals as they do each night, folding inward into tight buds that will wait patiently for the sun's return. This closing is not a retreat, but a rest, a sacred pause in the eternal cycle of opening and closing, waking and sleeping, day and night. The pharaoh's consciousness, too, is gently folding inward, thoughts becoming fewer, awareness growing softer around the edges. Like watercolors bleeding into water, distinct images becoming beautiful blurs. In the ancient texts, sleep was described as a little death, but not in any fearful way. Rather, it was understood as a gentle rehearsal for the soul's eventual journey to the eternal afterlife. Each night, the spirit practices releasing its attachment to the body, practices floating free, practices trusting in the protection of the gods and the natural order of the cosmos. And each morning, it returns, renewed and restored, ready once again for the joys and duties of the waking world. But morning is very far away now, impossibly distant. There is only this present moment of perfect peace, this sacred darkness, this gentle breath. The desert beyond the Nile Valley lies silent and vast under the star-scattered sky. The sand holds the day's warmth even as the night air cools, creating a gentle balance, neither hot nor cold, but perfectly temperate, perfectly still. The desert knows a peace that the busy world can never understand. It knows the value of emptiness, of space, of silence, so complete it becomes its own kind of presence. And in this bedchamber, that same quality of stillness has taken root, a silence that is not empty, but full of peace, full of protection, full of the invisible presence of benevolent gods who watch over those who sleep. The breath has become so slow now, so soft, barely a whisper of air moving in and out. The chest rises, pauses, falls, pauses, rises again, each cycle longer than the last, more relaxed, more surrendered to the natural rhythm of rest. There are no more thoughts to think, no more prayers to say, no more rituals to complete. Everything has been done, everything is in order, and now there is only this floating sensation, this gentle dissolving into the soft darkness, this sacred sleep that renews all things. The stars turn slowly in their eternal dance across the heavens, so slowly, imperceptibly, marking the passage of the night hours in their ancient, patient way. Time itself seems to have softened here in this sacred space, stretched out like honey, thick and golden and sweet. There is no hurry in this darkness, no urgency, no place to be except exactly here, no time to arrive at except this eternal now. The Pharaoh's face has become peaceful as a temple pool at dawn, smooth, relaxed, all the tensions of rulership released, all the weight of the crown set gently aside. In sleep, there are no kings and no subjects. There is only the universal soul returning to its source, the individual drop of water rejoining the infinite ocean. In the gentle darkness behind closed eyelids, images may drift past like slow boats on a calm river. Fragments of dreams beginning to form, the face of a beloved deity, a field of swaying papyrus, the sound of temple bells in the distance. But these images have no weight, no importance. They are simply gentle companions on the journey deeper into rest. There is nothing to grasp, nothing to understand, nothing to remember, only this soft floating through inner spaces that grow darker and more peaceful with each slow breath. The protective presence of the gods remains constant and sure. Nut above, her star-covered body arching over all of Egypt, Bes nearby, keeping watch with his kind, fierce devotion. Osiris in the west, lord of peaceful endings and eternal rest. All the powers of heaven and earth are aligned in support of this simple, sacred act of sleeping. Beyond the palace, night creatures go about their quiet business. An owl calls softly from the gardens. A breeze whispers through palm fronds. The Nile laps gently against its banks. All the sounds of the night blend into a symphony of peace, a lullaby sung by the earth itself to soothe its children into rest. The breathing continues, so gentle now, so soft, barely discernible, like the breathing of the desert itself, of the river, of the eternal stars. All boundaries have dissolved. There is no longer a clear line between the pharaoh and the night, between the sleeping body and the peaceful world around it. All is one gentle darkness, one sacred silence, one infinite peace. Drifting, floating, resting in the gentle arms of night. The stars shine on in their ancient patterns, patient, eternal, unwavering in their silent vigil. Breath, so soft, barely a whisper. In, out, like waves on a distant shore, so gentle. The darkness is not absence, but presence, not emptiness, but fullness, filled with peace, filled with protection, filled with the infinite love of the gods who cradle all sleeping souls. There is nothing left to do, nowhere left to go, only this perfect stillness, this sacred rest. The Nile flows on through darkness, steady, eternal, knowing its path, following its course, just as the breath follows its natural rhythm, requiring nothing, needing nothing, simply being. Lotus flowers rest in their closed buds, waiting without impatience, sleeping without concern, trusting in the return of light when the time is right. But that time is not now. Now, there is only darkness, gentle darkness, peaceful darkness. The desert holds its ancient silence, The stars turn their slow wheel across the sky, and all is exactly as it should be, breath softening, slowing, releasing into the infinite night, protected, safe, surrounded by divine presence, wrapped in the soft darkness like fine linen, like cool water, like the gentlest breeze, nothing to fear, nothing to want, nothing to be except this gentle breathing, this soft dissolving, this sacred sleep. The journey is complete. The Pharaoh has crossed the threshold, has entered the realm where gods and dreamers meet, where the soul renews itself in the eternal springs of rest. And here, in this place beyond words, beyond thought, beyond even the gentlest awareness, there is only peace, only stillness, only the infinite embrace of night. Breath, stars, silence, sleep, peace, rest, eternal, gentle, now, drifting, dissolving, releasing, into the deepest, most perfect peace. Thank you for listening tonight. If this story helped you drift off, consider leaving a like and subscribing for more calming stories. Sweet dreams, and I'll see you next time.